Hello everyone. In today's video, we are dealing with quadratic equations, which is a high scoring and quick solve topic in the quantitative ability of banking exams and staff selection commission. Usually you get 3 to 4 questions from this topic. Let's go through the basic concepts first, and then we will look at different ways of solving a quadratic equation. There are some useful shortcuts which I'll show you at the end of the video. All the different ways discussed here are helpful in tackling any kind of problem from quadratic equations. Both the longer algebraic methods and shortcuts are equally important. So stay with me until the end of the video. The general form of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. As you know, a quadratic equation has at most two solutions. Rather, you can find out two values of x that will satisfy this equation. Let me take an example for a quadratic equation. X squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. If you compare this quadratic equation given here to the general form of a quadratic, you can see the value of a being 1, which is the coefficient of x squared. That of b is minus 6, c is 8. While writing the coefficients, take care of the plus and minus signs. As you can see here, it's not 6, the value of b, it's minus 6. Now, how do you find out the values of x or the solutions of this particular quadratic equation? Method 1. This is called the factorization method. Take the constant term or 8 in the quadratic equation and also the coefficient of x squared. See, what is coefficient of x squared? It's 1. If it is 1, we don't write it. You take the product of these two, constant term as well as the coefficient of x squared, which is 1 multiplied by 8. And that's 8. Now let me factorize this number 8. See, you can write it as 1 multiplied by 8, 2 multiplied by 4. And these are the only two different ways. You can invert it. That's not of much significance in this problem. In the next step, what we do is, if you pair these two numbers, 1 and 8, you will not get their sum or difference or whatever as x. So you don't look at this. Now you take this factorization, 2 multiplied by 4. The coefficient of x, that is the middle term, is minus 6. You can generate as the sum of these two numbers. If you write 2 and 4, you will get 6, but you won't get minus. So what we do is, put a minus sign here, then put a minus sign here. This sum is minus 6. And this you can further write like this. Minus 2 minus 4, that product is 8. Basically what we have done is, we are finding two numbers like minus 2 and minus 4 in this case, so that their sum will be the coefficient of the middle term x. And their product should be the constant term given in the quadratic equation. Then what we do is, you will split this x squared minus 6x we will write as minus 2x minus 4x. These two numbers we write as it is. Now combining these two, you can see x being common in these two terms. Let me factor it out. You get this. And if you look at these two, there is minus 4 being common. Let me take it out. See, you can say 4 or minus 4. I am taking minus 4 so that inside you will be getting x and here you will be getting minus 2. Minus 4 minus 2 plus 8. Now look at this. Doing this, you have got two terms where x minus 2 being common. So again, we can factor it out. X minus 2. Here you are left with x. There you are left with minus 4. This implies what? You have product of two algebraic expressions equaling 0 means either the first one is 0 or the second one is 0. That is the meaning of this product being equal to 0. This means taking 2 to the right side, you get x equal to 2. Here, taking 4 to the right side, you get x equals 4. So let me write it here. So you got the values of x as 2 and 4. And these are the two solutions. If you substitute these in the given quadratic equation, you will see the equation being satisfied, which I am leaving to you. This is the first thing you need to know in this topic, quadratic equation. Basically, we are solving a quadratic equation and finding the values of the variable x. And this is the first method. Now let me look at the second method. That's called formula method. See, there are certain quadratic equations in which these coefficients A, B, C will be pretty huge numbers, big numbers. So it may not be that easy to split the middle term like this. Can you see that? Here we have split up minus 6 into minus 2 and minus 4, which may not be that easy. In that case, there is a direct formula using which you can find out the values of x. For example, as I said, ax square plus bx plus c equals 0 is the general form of a quadratic, and the values of x or the solutions of this quadratic equation will be minus b plus or minus b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So the given equation is x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. If you compare this equation to the general form of a quadratic, a equals 1, b equals minus 6, and c equals 8. I've already shown you this. Now all you need to do is substitute these values in this formula to get the values of x or the solutions. Let me write it here. See, minus b, minus 6 squared plus or minus 6 squared minus 4. A is what? 1. C is what? 8. The whole divided by 2 multiplied by 1. And this equals minus minus plus. Minus 6 squared is 36. This on simplifying 32. So 36 minus 32, 4 divided by 2. That equals 6 plus or minus root 4 is 2 divided by 2 equals, see, taking plus sign, 6 plus 2, 8. So 8 over 2, or taking minus sign, 6 minus 2, 4. 4 divided by 2. This equals 8 divided by 2, 4. 4 divided by 2, 2. See, these are the roots we had using the first method, factorization. So this is the second method. Now I'll take you through the shortcut, which is actually based on the factorization method I showed you first. There what we do is, okay, let me write the equation again. X squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. Like I showed you in the factorization method, 1 into 8 is 8. I hope you remember what I discussed in the first method. This is the first thing to do. You take the product of the coefficient of x squared, which is 1, and 8. That's 8. The middle term coefficient is minus 6. Basically, what you're doing is you're finding two numbers such that their product is plus 8 and their sum is minus 6. I've already shown you this, so I'm not going into the details. The numbers were found to be minus 2 multiplied by minus 4, and this one minus 2 plus minus 4. This is the first step in the shortcut. After that, write these numbers here, minus 2, minus 4. In the next step, change the signs of these two numbers. See, both the numbers have negative sign. So changing the sign, you get plus 2 and plus 4. In the next step, you divide these numbers by the coefficient of x squared. In this case, that coefficient is just 1. So you will be getting again 2 and 4. If it was some other number, you will divide that. I'll show you another example to illustrate that point. So the value of x will be 2 and 4. You don't need to waste time writing the factors like this. Can you see this in this first method? You're factorizing the given quadratic polynomial into product of two linear polynomials and then arriving at the solution, which is actually a waste of time. All you need to do is find out the two numbers so that the product of those two numbers will be the product of the constant term and the coefficient of x squared. Again, the sum of those two numbers must be the coefficient of the middle term x. After that, you write those terms here, then change the signs. Plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus. Here we had minus, so plus 4, plus 2, plus 4. And that again, one more step is there, which is not needed in this problem because of the coefficient of x squared being 1. Otherwise, we divide these two numbers by the coefficient. I'll show you in the next example. Look at this quadratic equation. 2x squared minus 9x minus 5 equals 0. What did I say? You take the product of the constant term, which is minus 5, and the coefficient of x squared, which is 2. What is this? 2 multiplied by minus 5, minus 10. And what about the middle term? That is minus 9. Now what to do in the next step? I'm showing only the shortcut. In the next step, what do? You are finding two numbers so that the product of those two numbers should be minus 10 and the sum of those two numbers should be minus 9. How do you find out that? Take this number 10. You don't need to look at the plus or minus sign. Take the number alone, 10, and factorize this in all possible ways. There are two ways of factorizing 10. That is the next step. Now, if you combine 1 and 10, either the sum or the difference should be this number, 9. And that is possible actually. See, I'll show you. If you take minus 10, if you take this factorization, if you write like this, you take the product of these two. Since there is a minus sign, one should be plus and the other should be minus. So what do you have? Plus 1, minus 10. See, plus 10 minus 1 is also possible, but in that case, there will be another problem. So now look at minus 9. If you write plus 1 plus minus 10, what about their sum? That is minus 9. So the numbers are 1 and minus 10. And then the next step, what did I say? You change the signs. Here it is plus. So you write minus 1. Here it is minus. So you write plus 10. In the next step, you divide these numbers by the coefficient of x squared, which is 2 here. So what do you have? Minus 1 divided by 2, 10 divided by 2. And this you can further simplify. Minus 1 over 2 and 10 divided by 2, 5. So these are the values of this quadratic equation. If you go this way, practice solving quite a few quadratic equations, you will be able to finish this in just 5 seconds max. We will do some more problems in the next video of mine. I'll be choosing questions from the previous year's question papers in bank exams and the staff selection commission in my next video. So please hit the bell icon so as not to miss out my next video on this topic. By the way, if you found this video useful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.